Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be talking about Gazprom. Gazprom is one of the largest natural gas producers in the world. In fact, before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Gazprom was the largest natural gas producer. And the reason for that can be seen in this chart. You can see here that Russia has over 24% of the total global supply of natural gas, which is incredible when you think about it. Gazprom has long been a cornerstone of Russia's economy, providing the country with vast revenues through its natural gas exports. The company operates the world's largest natural gas transmission network, and before the war it controlled a significant portion of Europe's natural gas supply. In fact, before the war, Gazprom supplied about 40% of Europe's gas. Unfortunately for Gazprom, this all changed on February the 24th, 2022. That was the day that Russia decided to invade Ukraine. And from that point, Europe decided it could not indirectly fund the war in Ukraine by buying gas from Russia, so it stopped almost all imports. In fact, on the 26th of September 2022, a major event occurred that put the nail in the coffin for gas transfers to Europe. The Nord Stream 1 and 2 gas pipelines were blown up. Although the pipelines were not transferring gas due to sanctions put on Russia by the EU, the pipelines were still filled with gas, making the explosions extremely damaging. To this day, it's still uncertain who carried out this act of sabotage. Now this chart shows the amount of gas Europe buys from Russia, and it has fallen a lot since the war started, as you can see. It is well known as sanctions have hit Russian businesses hard, but Gazprom has been hit harder than most. Unlike Russian oil companies that have been able to get around many of their sanctions by transferring their oil on shadow tanker fleets to India and China, gas is not as easy to transfer. It really needs pipelines to flow through. It is feasible to create liquefied natural gas or LNG, but the facilities are costly and time consuming to set up, and there is simply not enough existing LNG bulk carriers available to aid in this transfer. Added to Gazprom's woes, the EU, the United States and other allied countries froze Gazprom's assets, limited trade and restricted access to critical technologies, including those needed to maintain pipelines. So much of the technology used in modern day gas facilities are modular constructions that are owned by Western companies. Now these vendors are specialised in certain aspects of gas facilities processes. These companies provide licenses for each individual module, and they provide spare parts, maintenance and expertise if there is an issue with their specific modular vendor package. Russia has lost all of this expertise and support, and it has nothing to replace them with. Gazprom has been so intertwined with Russia's economy for many years, especially since 50% of Gazprom is state-owned. At one point, its profits made up 5% of Russia's GDP, but since Putin's initial incursion into Ukraine in 2014, Gazprom has been negatively affected, and I think that Putin seriously underestimated just how much of an effect his latest invasion of Ukraine would have on Russia's golden child. This chart shows Gazprom's losses since Putin decided to start reigniting his imperialistic dreams in Ukraine. I cannot see how Gazprom survives in its current state even when the war ends. Europe is not just going to start importing Russia's gas again, not after Putin so readily tried to use it as leverage in 2022. Losses of $13 billion in 1 year for any company would be problematic, but for Gazprom they may even be terminal. This chart shows the projected demand for the supply of energy moving forward. Wind and solar is to largely replace coal and oil, but natural gas will still be in demand, as it is regarded as a green transition fuel. The gas green transition refers to the shift towards using natural gas as a transition fuel to help reduce reliance on higher carbon fuels like coal, whilst also paving the way for a future powered by renewable energy sources. Had Putin just been able to suppress his urges and not invade Ukraine, Russia would have had a bright future, but not so much now. Europe and the world will keep working to reduce reliance on Russian energy. Liquefied natural gas (LNG) imports from the US, Qatar and other regions have surged, filling the gap left by Russian gas. This is obviously more costly than simply having the gas flow from Russia to Europe via pipelines, but this cost to cryogenically turn the gas into a liquid, store it, transport it on ships, and then turn the liquid back to gas again is simply worth it now for Europe. Before the war, Gazprom supplied over 40% of the EU's natural gas. In 2023, that share dropped to below 10%. European countries are making long-term shifts, investing heavily in LNG infrastructure and renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar, to future-proof their energy security. Putin thought that Europe was just too reliant on Russian gas to abandon it. Little did he know just how abhorrent Europe would find his unjustified invasion. He seriously underestimated Europe's disdain for dictators who invade other countries. But Europe has a long memory. It has been here before and does not want to go back to that time again. So in conclusion, this permanent shift has dramatically reduced Gazprom's influence in European markets, and the company is now looking for new markets to supply its natural gas, particularly in Asia. China has become a crucial partner. The Power of Siberia pipeline, which sends natural gas to China, has become one of its most important assets. There was also talk of a Power of Siberia 2 pipeline that will be able to utilize much of the gas that was once destined for Europe. This pipeline was to pass through Mongolia headed for China. Gazprom has already done most of the surveying needed and has a route planned. This was to be Putin's saviour, but now it looks like Mongolia has cooled off on the idea. It has actually not included the pipeline in Mongolia's 2024 National Action Plan. Now this is a massive blow to Gazprom and a massive blow to Putin. The war has also created domestic issues for Gazprom. The company's operations inside Russia face several challenges. Sanctions, Ukrainian drone attacks and the loss of skilled labour, as many foreign companies have left Russia, have disrupted production. Despite its vast reserves, Gazprom has struggled with declining output. Russian domestic production has decreased due to underinvestment in gas infrastructure and a lack of technological innovation. The company is now facing the dual challenges of meeting domestic energy needs while coping with the loss of its once dependable international markets. Last year, Gazprom actually said it was selling off some of its luxury property assets, including a range of Gazprom-owned hotels, which it once used to reward employees for holidays and to host conferences. So what's next for Gazprom? The company's future is uncertain, to say the least. While it still controls vast energy reserves, the geopolitical landscape is rapidly changing. The company faces mounting challenges, from ongoing sanctions to competition in emerging markets. The company that only a couple of years ago seemed like a golden egg-laying goose is now nothing but a sick-looking turkey. Putin's geopolitical mistakes after mistakes after mistakes have destroyed Gazprom and turned it into a shell of its former self. But who knows where it goes from here? It seems locked in that as long as Putin's regime remains in control in Russia, Gazprom's prospects remain dire. So guys, thanks for watching this video, and I hope you find it interesting to see how adversely Gazprom is being affected by geopolitical events. If you've enjoyed the video at all, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. Cheers.